The massive council chamber stretched wider than any sports stadium on Earth. Ambassador Maria Chen stood in the center, surrounded by thousands of alien representatives. Their many eyes, tentacles, and other sensory organs all focused on her small human form. She kept her back straight and her face calm, even though she knew what was coming. High above, the Karathi delegate rose from his floating platform. His blue-scaled skin shimmered under the artificial lights. The Karathi were the most powerful species in the Galactic Council. They had ruled the galaxy's trade routes for over 3,000 years. When they spoke, everyone listened. The human delegation has refused our reasonable request for the third time, the Karathi delegate said. His voice boomed through the chamber thanks to advanced sound systems. Earth continues to maintain independent military forces. They refuse to place their ships under council control. This cannot be allowed. Chen had expected this. For the past 5 years, the council had been pressuring Earth to give up control of its small fleet. Only 40 human warships protected Earth and its 3 colony worlds. The council had thousands of ships, but those 40 ships belonged to humanity, and humanity alone. We have been patient, continued another delegate. This one from the Vorthan Empire. The Vorthans looked like giant mantises made of crystal. 50 years ago, we welcomed humans into our community. We shared our faster-than-light technology. We opened our markets to them. And this is how they repay our kindness? With stubbornness and pride? Chen pressed the button that would allow her to speak. A blue light appeared around her, showing she had the floor. The human government's position remains unchanged, she said. Her voice was steady and clear. Our military forces exist only for self-defense. We have never attacked any council member. We have followed all trade agreements. We simply wish to maintain our sovereignty. Sovereignty? The Karathi delegate's scales turned purple, showing anger. You are a minor species. You have 3 colony worlds. 3. The Karathi Empire controls 600 systems. The Vorthans control 400. Even the smallest council members have dozens of worlds. You humans are nothing but children playing at being adults. Laughter rippled through the chamber. Many species made their own versions of laughing sounds. Some clicked, some hummed, some released chemical signals that translated to amusement. Chen waited for the noise to die down. Children or not, Chen said. We have the same rights as any council member. The charter you all signed says so. Rights can be revoked, the Karathi delegate said. I call for a vote. Full economic and technological sanctions against Earth and all human colonies. No trade, no communications, no travel. Complete isolation until they surrender their military to council control. The vote happened quickly. Electronic systems counted the responses from thousands of delegates in seconds. The result appeared on the massive screen above. 2,847 in favor, 134 against, 89 abstaining. Chen wasn't surprised. Most species feared the Karathi and their allies. Voting against them meant risking their own trade agreements. The few who voted to support Earth were either brave or had nothing left to lose. The sanctions begin immediately, the Karathi delegate announced. All jump gates leading to human space will be locked. Any ship carrying goods to or from Earth will lose its license. Any species providing technology or information to humans will face the same sanctions. Chen touched her earpiece, sending a coded message back to Earth. Protocol 7 confirmed. Then she looked up at the Karathi delegate. You've made your decision. Now you'll have to live with the consequences. Is that a threat, Ambassador? The Vorthan delegate's crystal body flashed red. No, Chen said. Just an observation. Earth has survived in isolation before. We spent our entire history alone, thinking we were the only intelligent life in the universe. 50 years of knowing about you hasn't changed what we are. She turned and walked toward the exit. Behind her, alien delegates whispered and clicked and hummed. Some probably felt sorry for humanity. Most thought the humans were fools who would come crawling back within months. Meanwhile on Earth, President Juan Martinez sat in a bunker 3 miles beneath the Rocky Mountains. Around him, the highest members of Earth's government and military watched as Ambassador Chen's message appeared on their screens. Protocol 7 confirmed. Martinez nodded to General Thompson, who stood near a sealed red panel on the wall. Thompson placed his hand on a biometric scanner. The panel opened, revealing a simple black keyboard with numbers and letters. Enter the code, General, Martinez said. Thompson typed ZEUS. Across Earth and its 3 colonies, hidden facilities received the same signal. Blast doors sealed. Communication systems switched to quantum encryption that no alien technology could break. Scientists who had been living normal lives suddenly disappeared into underground complexes. Dr. Sarah Kovac was eating lunch in New Tokyo when her phone buzzed with the activation signal. She left her half-eaten sandwich on the table and walked to what looked like a normal office building. But when she placed her hand on a hidden scanner in the lobby, a secret elevator opened. It took her down, far below the city streets. The facility beneath New Tokyo was one of 12 ZEUS research centers on Earth. Each one was buried so deep that even orbital bombardment couldn't reach them. The walls were lined with a special alloy that blocked all known scanning technology. Kovac entered the main laboratory where her team was already gathering. 47 of Earth's best scientists, all sworn to absolute secrecy. They had been working on ZEUS for 20 years. Long before humanity made official first contact. Is it time? Asked Dr. James Park, her deputy director. The council just voted for total sanctions, Kovac confirmed. They think they're strangling us. They have no idea what we've been building down here. She walked to the observation window. Below, in a chamber the size of a football field, stood the ZEUS prototype. It didn't look like much. Just a sphere of interlocking rings, each one covered in equations that hurt to look at directly. But this device could do something no alien technology could match. It could reach into the quantum foam that existed beneath reality and pull out unlimited energy. More than that, it could use that energy to bend the laws of physics themselves. How long until we're ready for full activation? Kovac asked. 6 months, Park replied. Maybe less if we push hard. Then we push hard. The aliens think they're teaching us a lesson about power. Kovac smiled. They're right. They're just wrong about who's teaching whom. Above them, Earth's skies were already empty of alien ships. The jump gates that connected Earth to the galactic network went dark. Trade ships turned away. Communication channels closed. Earth and its colonies were now alone, cut off from the rest of the galaxy. In the council chambers, the Karathi delegate spoke to his advisors. How long until the humans surrender? Our economists predict their industrial base will collapse within 3 months, an advisor replied. Without access to helium-3 from the gas giant refineries, their fusion reactors will fail. Without quantum processors from the Synthari markets, their computers will become obsolete. They'll have no choice but to comply. The Karathi delegate's scales shimmered with satisfaction. Good, let them struggle. Let them realize how small and weak they really are. When they come begging for mercy, we'll be ready with our terms. But in the hidden depths of Earth and facilities that no alien knew existed, work continued around the clock. Scientists who had pretended to be decades behind galactic technology standards were actually working on something far beyond what the Council could imagine. The sanctions had begun. The galaxy thought it was punishing Earth, but Earth had been preparing for this moment since the day they learned they weren't alone. The ZEUS project wasn't just about survival. It was about showing the galaxy that humanity didn't need their technology, their trade, or their approval. The real game was just beginning. 6 months had passed since the sanctions began. The Karathi monitoring station orbited just outside the quarantine zone around Earth's solar system. Commander Zelak studied the data on his screens with growing confusion. Nothing made sense. Earth should be dying. Their cities should be dark. Their factories should be silent. Their people should be rioting in the streets, demanding their government surrender to the Council's demands. But the energy readings from Earth showed the opposite. Power output had actually increased. Run the scans again, Zelak ordered his technician. This is the 5th scan, Commander. The results are the same. Earth's energy production is now 3 times higher than before the sanctions. Impossible. Where are they getting the fuel? We've confirmed no helium-3 shipments have reached them. Their fusion reactors should be running on empty by now. The technician's forearms moved across multiple keyboards. Unknown, Commander. The energy signature doesn't match fusion reactions. It doesn't match anything in our database. Zelak's scales turned yellow with worry. In the Karathi fleet, he was known for being careful and smart. That's why they gave him this monitoring job. Keep watch on the humans. Make sure they stayed weak and isolated. Report any attempts to break the quarantine. It should have been easy. Send in a probe, he ordered. The probe was the size of a basketball painted black to blend with space. It had the best stealth technology the Karathi Empire could create. It could slip past any human detection system, or so Zelak believed. The probe crossed into the solar system, heading straight for Earth. It transmitted data for exactly 17 seconds. Then the signal cut off. What happened? Zelak demanded. The probe just disappeared, Commander. One moment it was there, the next it was gone. No explosion, no debris. Just gone. Zelak sent another probe, then another, then 10 at once. They all vanished the moment they got within 1,000,000 kilometers of Earth. Something was destroying them, but the monitoring station couldn't detect what. On Earth, deep beneath the Antarctic ice, Dr. Sarah Kovacs watched as another batch of alien probes dissolved into quantum foam. The ZEUS defense grid is working perfectly, reported Dr. Park. The probes cease to exist the moment they enter our space. The atoms themselves are scattered across multiple dimensions. The ZEUS facility in Antarctica was the largest of the 12 sites. Here the main ZEUS reactor hummed with barely contained power. It was a sound that couldn't quite be heard but felt in your bones. The device had grown since the sanctions began. New rings had been added. New equations carved into its surface. It was now the size of a small building. Power output is stable at 300% of previous maximum. A technician announced. We could go higher, but Dr. Kovacs recommended caution. Kovacs nodded. We're not trying to blow up the solar system. Not yet, anyway. It was a joke, but nobody laughed. They all knew the ZEUS reactor could probably do exactly that if pushed too far. President Martinez appeared on the main screen. He was calling from the command bunker, where he had spent most of the last 6 months. Dr. Kovacs, the council is getting nervous. Our intelligence suggests they're considering military action. How long until ZEUS is ready for full deployment? We can activate the planetary shield anytime, Mr. President. But the offensive capabilities need another month of testing. We might not have another month. General Thompson believes the Karathi are assembling an invasion fleet. General Thompson appeared on screen next to the president. His face looked tired but determined. Satellite intel shows massive ship movements in 3 sectors, all heading toward the staging area near the quarantine zone. My guess is they'll attack within 2 weeks. Kovacs looked at her team. They had worked without rest for 6 months. They had missed birthdays, anniversaries, and holidays. Some hadn't seen sunlight in weeks, but they had done the impossible. They had built humanity's answer to alien superiority. We can accelerate the timeline, Kovacs said. Give me 10 days. You have them, Martinez said. The fate of humanity is in your hands, Doctor. The screen went dark. Kovacs turned to her exhausted team. You heard the president. 10 days to make ZEUS fully operational. Not just the defense systems, but everything. The reality manipulation protocols, the dimension shift technology, the quantum tunneling weapons, everything. That's impossible, someone said. So was building ZEUS in the first place, Kovacs replied. But we did it. Because that's what humans do. We make the impossible possible. Meanwhile, on Earth's first colony world, New Haven, another ZEUS reactor was coming online. The colonists had been told it was a new type of power plant. They had no idea it could do much more than generate electricity. Governor Lisa Wang stood in the control room, watching the activation sequence. New Haven had only 2 million people. It was a farming world, chosen for its fertile soil and peaceful environment. The colonists came here to escape Earth's crowded cities. They wanted a simple life. Now they were on the front line of humanity's secret war. ZEUS Reactor 2 is operational, the chief engineer reported. We're now completely independent of fusion power. Wang nodded. She was one of the few colonial leaders who knew the truth about ZEUS. The weight of that knowledge sat heavy on her shoulders. What about the other colonies? New Sparta comes online tomorrow. Liberty Station the day after. All 4 human worlds will have ZEUS reactors within 72 hours. 4 worlds. 4 ZEUS reactors. 4 chances to show the galaxy that humanity was not weak. Back at the Karathi monitoring station, Commander Zelak received a priority message from the Council. The Karathi Emperor himself appeared on the screen. His scales were deep purple, almost black. This was beyond anger. This was rage. Commander Zelak, explain why Earth's energy output has increased during the sanctions.
He called me fatty.
Unknown, Your Majesty. They've developed something new. Something we don't understand. Impossible. Humans are too primitive to create anything we don't understand. With respect, Your Majesty, the evidence suggests otherwise. The Emperor's scales flashed. Then we will take this evidence by force. The invasion fleet launches in 7 days. 1,000 ships. We will occupy Earth, take whatever technology they're hiding, and teach them the price of defiance. The transmission ended. Zelok stared at the blank screen. 1,000 ships against Earth's 40 defenders. It should be a massacre. But something in his stomach told him the humans were hiding more than just a new power source. He was right. In her laboratory, Dr. Kovac made final adjustments to the ZEUS weapon systems. Traditional weapons shot projectiles or energy beams. They could be blocked by shields or armor. But ZEUS weapons worked differently. They attacked the quantum foundations of matter itself. They could make an enemy ship's atoms forget how to hold together. They could shift a target partially into another dimension, tearing it apart. They could even create tiny black holes that lasted just long enough to swallow a ship before evaporating. Successful test of quantum dissolution beam, Park reported. The target ceased to exist at the subatomic level. And the dimensional shift cannon? Operational. We can shift objects up to battleship size into parallel dimensions. Kovac smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. Let them come with their 1,000 ships. They want to see what Earth is hiding? We'll show them. Above Earth, Admiral Chen, no relation to the ambassador, prepared Earth's small fleet. 40 ships against 1,000. The math looked bad, but his ships had been secretly retrofitted with ZEUS technology over the past months. Each one now carried weapons that could destroy matter at the quantum level. All ships report ready, Admiral, his aide reported. Good. Send a message to all Earth forces. The aliens think they're coming to conquer us. They think their numbers make them strong. They're about to learn that humans have been holding back. They're about to learn what happens when you corner humanity. The countdown had begun. In 7 days, the Karathi fleet would arrive. In 7 days, the galaxy would learn that the sanctions hadn't weakened Earth. They had only made humanity remove its mask, and what was underneath that mask would terrify them all. The Karathi invasion fleet dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system. 1,000 ships, each one bristling with weapons. The smallest destroyer was twice the size of Earth's largest battleship. The command dreadnought alone could have destroyed Earth's entire fleet in a conventional battle. Admiral Vex stood on the bridge of that dreadnought, his scales shimmering with confidence. He had conquered 17 species for the Karathi Empire. Earth would be number 18. Status report, he commanded. All ships accounted for, Admiral. The humans have pulled their 40 ships back to Earth orbit. They're not even trying to meet us at the system's edge. Cowards, Vex said. They know they can't win. Begin the advance. All ships, standard invasion formation. The massive fleet moved forward like a swarm of metal death. But as they passed Jupiter's orbit, something strange happened. Every human colony world suddenly showed the same energy signature that Earth had been displaying. The same impossible readings that had confused Commander Zelak for months. Admiral, the science officer's voice shook. New Haven, New Sparta, and Liberty Station are all showing identical energy patterns. It's like they're connected somehow. Impossible. They're light years apart. But before anyone could respond, President Martinez appeared on every screen in the fleet. Not just the main view screens, but every personal display, every tactical readout, every navigation console. His face was calm, almost sad. Admiral Vex, this is President Juan Martinez of Earth. You have 60 seconds to turn your fleet around and leave human space. This is your only warning, Vex laughed. The sound was like grinding metal. You dare threaten us? You have 40 ships. We have 1,000. 50 seconds, Admiral. Fire a warning shot at their moon. Show them the price of their arrogance. A destroyer fired its main cannon. The energy beam shot toward Earth's moon at nearly light speed. It should have carved a crater a mile wide. Instead, the beam simply vanished when it got within 1,000,000 kilometers of the moon. It didn't dissipate or get absorbed. It just stopped existing. 40 seconds, Admiral. Vex's scales turned orange with confusion. All ships full scan. What are they using for shields? The scans came back with impossible results. There were no shields around Earth or its moon. Space itself had simply decided the energy beam shouldn't exist anymore. 30 seconds. This is a trick, Vex snarled. All ships prepare for full assault. We'll overwhelm whatever defense they have with sheer numbers. 20 seconds. Dr. Kovac stood in the ZEUS control room, her hand hovering over the activation switch. Around her, technicians monitored readings from all 4 ZEUS reactors across human space. The reactors were now connected through quantum entanglement, creating a network that spanned light years instantly. 10 seconds, Admiral. Fire everything, Vex roared. 1,000 ships opened fire at once. Beams of energy, projectiles, missiles, and exotic weapons the humans had never seen before all streaked toward Earth. It was enough firepower to crack a moon in half.
Shirt guy is
Time's
the one
up,
who called
Martinez said.
Fatty,
Kovac pressed the switch. Reality broke. That's the only way the Karathi could describe it later. One moment, space was normal. The next, the laws of physics around Earth changed. The massive barrage of weapons didn't hit shields. They entered a zone where matter and energy followed different rules. Laser beams turned into flowers that dissolved into music. Missiles became mathematical equations that solved themselves and vanished. Kinetic projectiles transformed into probability waves that never collapsed into reality. What in the seven hells? Vex's science officer had turned pale beneath his scales, but that was just the beginning. The space around all four human worlds began to shimmer. It was like looking at reality through water. Then impossible things started happening. Earth's 40 ships were suddenly 400, then 4,000, then back to 40. They were multiplying and dividing, existing in multiple places at once. A single human destroyer appeared inside the shields of 12 different Karathi battleships simultaneously, fired, and vanished before anyone could respond. Those 12 battleships exploded from the inside out. They're not moving through space, the science officer whispered. They're moving through dimensions. They're attacking us from parallel realities. New Haven, a peaceful farming world, suddenly sprouted weapons platforms that hadn't been there seconds before. Not built, not transported. They just edited themselves into existence. The platforms fired beams that didn't travel through space. They simply decided that certain Karathi ships should stop existing, and reality agreed.
Just like when
50 Karathi destroyers vanished like they had never been born. Retreat, Vex screamed. All ships retreat. But it was too late. Space itself had become humanity's weapon. A Karathi battleship tried to enter hyperspace but found itself arriving before it left, creating a paradox that tore it apart. Another ship discovered its atoms were now obeying different physical laws. The strong nuclear force in its hull reversed, and the ship dissolved into a cloud of subatomic particles. Admiral Chen, commanding Earth's fleet, spoke calmly into his comm. ZEUS Protocol 7, Reality Shift Pattern Alpha. The 40 Earth ships each split into 1,000 quantum shadows. To the Karathi, it looked like 40,000 ships had appeared from nowhere. Each shadow could fire once before vanishing. 40,000 shots from 40 ships that existed in 1,000 realities simultaneously. The Karathi fleet, the pride of the Empire, the force that had conquered 17 species, was being taken apart by an enemy that had rewritten the rules of war. On New Sparta, the military colony, General Morrison watched as his single defense platform split into infinite versions across infinite dimensions. Each one fired at a different Karathi ship in a different possible future. The shots that missed never happened. Only the hits remained real. This is what humans do, Morrison said to his aide. When you push us into a corner, we don't just fight back. We change the game entirely. Back on Earth, Ambassador Maria Chen stood in the council chambers. She had returned when the invasion began, using a ZEUS quantum tunnel that ignored the light years between Earth and the council station. The alien delegates watched in horror as their screens showed the destruction of the Karathi fleet. You're not fighting fair. The Vorthan delegate's crystal body was flashing every color at once. Fair? Chen asked. Was it fair when you cut us off from trade? Was it fair when you tried to starve our colonies? Was it fair when you sent 1,000 ships to conquer 40? The Karathi delegate who had been so arrogant 6 months ago was now trembling. What is that weapon? What is ZEUS? Chen smiled. ZEUS stands for Zero Point Energy Unified System. 20 years ago, a human scientist asked a simple question. What if we could tap into the quantum foam that underlies all reality? Not just for energy, but to manipulate the fundamental forces that govern existence. Every other species in the galaxy followed the same technological path. You discovered fire, electricity, nuclear power, fusion. A straight line of development. She paused, looking at the terrified faces around her. But humans, we've always thought sideways. While you were building bigger guns, we were figuring out how to make the concept of gun meaningless. ZEUS doesn't just give us unlimited energy. It lets us edit reality like it's a computer program. We can create localized areas where physics works differently. We can shift objects through dimensions. We can make matter forget how to exist. On the screens, the Karathi fleet was down to less than 300 ships. They were fleeing in all directions, but space itself seemed to be working against them. Ships that tried to jump to hyperspace found themselves arriving at their departure point. Others discovered that the direction away from Earth no longer existed in their local space. Please, Admiral Vex appeared on the main screen. His scales had turned white with fear. We surrender. Call off your attack. President Martinez appeared next to Chen's image. Do you acknowledge that Earth and its colonies are sovereign nations, free from council interference? Yes. Do you agree to pay reparations for the economic damage caused by your illegal sanctions? Yes, anything. Just make it stop. Martinez nodded to someone off-screen. Suddenly, space went back to normal. The 40 Earth ships were just 40 ships again. The impossible weapons disappeared. Reality reasserted itself with an almost audible snap. 207 Karathi ships had survived from the original 1,000. They hung in space, damaged and demoralized. Their crews would spend the rest of their lives trying to explain what they had seen. Most would fail. How do you describe watching the laws of physics themselves turn against you? The ZEUS network will remain active, Martinez announced to the Council. Any future aggression against humanity will be met with the full deployment of our reality manipulation technology. We don't want to conquer anyone. We don't want to rule anyone. We just want to be left alone to develop in peace. But if you force us to defend ourselves again, we won't stop at disabling your fleets. We'll edit your entire species out of existence. The council chamber was silent. Several delegates had fainted. Others were frantically sending messages to their home governments. Do not antagonize the humans. Ambassador Chen looked around the room. The sanctions are over. Earth's trade routes will be reopened immediately. Any species that wishes to establish peaceful relations with humanity is welcome. The great council chambers had never been so quiet. 3 days had passed since the Karathi fleet's defeat. Every delegate sat frozen as they watched humanity's Ambassador Chen walk to the center platform. Behind her, President Martinez and General Thompson materialized through a ZEUS quantum tunnel. Stepping through folded space as if walking through a door, the Karathi Emperor himself had come to the council station. His scales, once brilliant blue, had dulled to gray. The loss of 800 ships in 20 minutes had broken something in the Empire's confidence. They had ruled for 3 millennia. Now they cowered before a species they'd dismissed as primitives. The terms, Chen began, her voice carrying to every corner of the massive chamber, are simple. First, immediate lifting of all sanctions. Second, reparations of 100 billion credits to be paid over 10 years. Third, recognition of Earth and all human colonies as sovereign powers equal to any council member. Fourth, the return of all human citizens detained in council space. That's outrageous. The Vorthan delegate's crystal body flashed red. You can't just... He stopped mid-sentence. The air around him had started to shimmer. For a horrifying moment, his crystalline form became translucent, as if he was fading from existence. Then reality snapped back and he was solid again. That was a warning, General Thompson said calmly. We have ZEUS satellites in orbit around this station. Would you like to continue objecting? The Vorthan delegate said nothing. His crystal body had turned pale pink with fear. The Synthari delegate, a being of pure energy contained in a mechanical shell, spoke carefully. What about trade? Will humans share this ZEUS technology? No, Martinez answered immediately. ZEUS is not for sale, trade, or sharing. It's too dangerous in the wrong hands. We barely trust ourselves with it. Then what can you offer the galactic community? Asked a delegate from the Altarian Federation. Chen smiled. Protection, fair trade, honest friendship to those who offer it, and a demonstration that the Council's way is not the only way. How many of you here have been forced to surrender your military forces? How many have been pressured into unfair trade deals? How many have watched the Karathi and their allies take what they want because they were stronger? Dozens of smaller species delegates shifted uncomfortably. Everyone knew the answer. The Council had always been about the powerful controlling the weak. It was dressed up in laws and procedures, but underneath it was simple dominance. We offer an alternative, Chen continued. Any species that wishes to ally with Earth will receive our protection. Not our control, not our dominance. Protection, you keep your sovereignty. You keep your fleets. You trade with whoever you choose. And if anyone threatens you, they'll have to answer to ZEUS. The chamber erupted in whispers, clicks, and chemical signals. This was unprecedented. The powerful species had always demanded submission in exchange for protection. Earth was offering protection while demanding nothing but friendship. On the planet Kepler 442b, The Zelani delegation received Chen's words with desperate hope. The Zelani were a small amphibious species with only 2 worlds. For 50 years, the Karathi had been slowly strangling their economy, forcing them into worse and worse trade deals. Their oceans were being harvested dry to feed the Karathi's appetite for rare minerals. Ambassador Grilth stood on his webbed feet, his throat sac inflated with determination. The Zelani Republic formally requests an alliance with Earth. Before anyone could respond, dozens of other delegates stood. The Morphin Collective with their 6 mining worlds. The Etherian Wanderers who lived in massive space stations. The Trinari Commonwealth, whose flowering forests produced the galaxy's most powerful medicines. One by one, species that had been stepped on for centuries stood up. The Morphin Collective requests alliance with Earth. The Etherian Wanderers request alliance with Earth. The Trinari Commonwealth requests alliance with Earth. Within minutes, 43 species had requested alliances. They represented nearly 300 worlds. Tiny powers individually, but together they were a significant force. The Karathi Emperor's scales turned black with rage. You dare? You insignificant species dare to defy the natural order? Natural order? Chen laughed. It wasn't a pleasant sound. You mean the order where you take what you want because you're stronger? That order died 3 days ago when your fleet learned what real strength looks like. She gestured, and holographic displays appeared throughout the chamber. They showed human colonies. But these weren't the struggling frontier worlds the Council expected. New Haven's farms stretched to the horizon, feeding millions with crops enhanced by ZEUS energy. New Sparta's training grounds had soldiers practicing with weapons that fired through dimensions. Liberty Station had become a massive shipyard where new vessels were being grown. Not built, grown, from programmable matter. In 6 months of isolation, Chen said, we've advanced more than in the previous 50 years. Your sanctions didn't weaken us. They freed us. We no longer had to hide our true capabilities. We no longer had to pretend to be just another species climbing the same technological ladder as everyone else. Dr. Kovac appeared on the main screen, broadcasting from her laboratory on Earth. Behind her, the ZEUS reactor pulsed with otherworldly energy. Perhaps a demonstration would help, Kovac said. President Martinez, with your permission? Martinez nodded. Kovac touched a control panel. Suddenly, in the middle of the council chamber, a planet appeared. Not a hologram, an actual planet, the size of a basketball, complete with tiny oceans, continents, and weather systems. It floated in the air, rotating slowly. This is a pocket dimension, Kovac explained. A tiny universe about 1 meter across, created and maintained by ZEUS. Inside this sphere, time moves at a different rate. A day in there is a second out here. We could grow a civilization in that sphere in the time it takes you to have lunch. The delegates stared in shock. Creating pocket dimensions was theoretically possible, but the energy requirements were supposed to be impossible. It would take the output of 1,000 stars to create even a tiny dimensional pocket. Yet here was Earth, casually creating miniature universes for demonstration purposes. But that's not all. Kovac continued. She touched another control. The pocket dimension changed. The planet inside transformed into a star, then a black hole, then a crystalline structure that hurt to look at, then back to a planet. We can edit the rules of physics inside these pockets. We can create spaces where entropy runs backward, where time moves sideways, where matter and energy are the same thing. We could trap an enemy fleet in a pocket dimension where the speed of light is 1 meter per second. They'd be frozen in place for centuries from their perspective. While only seconds pass outside, she closed her hand, and the pocket dimension vanished. This is what you tried to suppress, Chen said to the council. This is what you tried to steal with your invasion. But here's the thing about ZEUS technology. It only works for humans. What? The Synthari delegate's energy form pulsed with confusion. That's impossible. Physics is physics. ZEUS interfaces directly with consciousness, Kovac explained. It requires a specific type of neural pattern to operate. The chaotic, creative, sometimes irrational patterns of the human brain. We've tried to adapt it for other species. It doesn't work. The moment a non-human tries to operate ZEUS, it shuts down. It's not racism or prejudice. It's just incompatible operating systems. This revelation sent another wave of discussion through the chamber. The technology that had defeated the Karathi Empire couldn't be stolen or replicated. It was uniquely, permanently human. So here's the situation, Chen said. Earth and its allies will form a new coalition. Not under the Council, but parallel to it. We'll call it the Free Worlds Alliance. Any species that wants to join is welcome. You keep your independence. You trade freely. And if anyone threatens you, they face ZEUS. This is rebellion. The Karathi Emperor roared. No, Martinez said. It's evolution. The galaxy is changing whether you like it or not. You can either adapt or be left behind. General Thompson stepped forward. And to be clear, if anyone attacks Earth or its allies again, we won't just disable your fleets. We have weapons you haven't seen yet. Weapons that can erase entire star systems from existence. Weapons that can trap a species in a time loop, forcing them to live the same day forever. Weapons that can edit the genetic code of an entire race through quantum manipulation. He paused to let that sink in. We don't want to use these weapons. We want peace. We want to explore, to learn, to grow. But if you force our hand, we'll show you what humans are really capable of when pushed to our limits. The Zelani ambassador spoke again. When can our alliance begin? Immediately, Chen replied. We've prepared quantum communication devices for all interested species. They'll connect you directly to Earth's diplomatic corps. We'll have defense agreements ready within days. One by one, the smaller species delegates approached the human delegation. Each received a small device that looked like a simple metal cube, but contained technology beyond their understanding. The Free Worlds Alliance was being born right there in the council chambers. The Karathi Emperor watched his empire's influence crumble in real time. The species he had dominated for centuries were abandoning him for humanity's protection. But there was nothing he could do. 1 year had passed since the failed invasion of Earth. The galaxy looked nothing like it had before. Where once the Karathi Empire and their allies had dominated through fear, now a new order had emerged. The Free Worlds Alliance included 73 species and over 400 worlds. Each flew their own flag alongside Earth's blue and green banner. Dr. Sarah Kovacs stood in the newly built ZEUS Academy on Earth's moon. Through the transparent aluminum windows, she could see Earth hanging in the black sky. But her attention was on her students. Not human students, but young scientists from across the Free Worlds Alliance. I know you can't operate ZEUS directly, she told them. But you can understand the theory. You can develop your own technologies based on the principles we've discovered. Today we're going to talk about dimensional threading. A young Zelani raised a webbed hand. Dr. Kovacs, if we can't use ZEUS, why are you teaching us? Kovacs smiled. Because ZEUS taught us something important. There isn't just one path to advancement. The Karathi followed one road. We followed another. Your species might find a third way, something even we haven't imagined. We're not here to make you human. We're here to help you become the best version of yourselves. Meanwhile, in the council chambers, Ambassador Chen faced a very different audience. The Karathi Emperor had called for a formal review of the Free Worlds Alliance. He claimed it was destabilizing the galaxy. In 1 year, the Emperor said, his scales flickering between purple and black. You've destroyed 3,000 years of order. Species that knew their place are now acting independently. Trade routes established over millennia have been abandoned. This is chaos. Chen stood calmly at the podium. It's not chaos. It's freedom. Let me show you what the Free Worlds have accomplished. The main screen lit up with images from across the galaxy. The Zelani oceans, once dying from overharvesting, were now teeming with life. Earth had shared water purification technology that worked at the quantum level, cleaning decades of pollution in months. The Morphin mining worlds, previously stripped bare by Karathi demands, had discovered new deposits deep in their crusts. Human scanning technology, derived from ZEUS research, could detect minerals through dimensions. The Morphins were now wealthier than they'd ever been. The Trinari forests, which the Vorthons had been slowly cutting down, were growing at 10 times their natural rate. Earth's biologists had combined ZEUS energy with Trinari photosynthesis, creating trees that could grow to full size in weeks instead of decades.
No, it's not about
Every world in our alliance has prospered, Chen said. Not because we control them, but because we help them help themselves. And what about the weapons? The Vorthon delegates' crystal form pulsed with accusation. You've armed species that were meant to be peaceful. General Thompson appeared via quantum tunnel, stepping through folded space directly into the chamber. We've given them defensive capabilities. Each allied world now has a ZEUS shield generator operated by human volunteers. No one can invade them, but the shields only work for defense. They can't be used to attack anyone.
is
You've made them
about the
dependent
fact
on you,
that
the
he
Emperor
know
accused,
I
have we?
he
Thompson
think
asked.
I don't understand.
He gestured to the
Thai.
screen. It showed New Sparta's shipyards.
That's
But
why.
the ships being built weren't just human designs. The Zilani
If
had
he
contributed
know
their
I
bioadaptive hulls that could
understand
heal
Thai,
damage like
he
living
wouldn't
tissue.
do anything
The
or
Morphans had
say
provided their
anything at
crystal-based
all.
computers that processed information through light instead of electricity. The Etherians had shared their energy field technology that made ships nearly impossible to detect. Every species brings something unique, Thompson explained. The Free Worlds Alliance isn't about humanity controlling everyone. It's about everyone contributing their strengths. Together, we're creating technology that no single species could develop alone. President Martinez materialized next to Thompson, having traveled from Earth instantly through another quantum tunnel.
Microbullying.
The Karathi Empire spent 3,000 years taking from others. We've spent 1 year sharing with others. Look at the results. The screen changed to show economic data. Trade between free worlds had increased by 400%. New technologies were being developed daily. Art, music, and literature flowed between cultures that had been isolated from each other by Karathi control. But the real change, Martinez continued, is this. The screen showed a Karathi colony world. But something was different. The usually rigid militaristic Karathi settlements had parks, recreation areas, art galleries. The Karathi citizens moved with a relaxation that hadn't been seen in generations. Your own people are changing, Martinez said to the Emperor. Without the pressure of maintaining an empire, without the constant need for conquest, they're discovering who they really are. Did you know the Karathi once produced the galaxy's most beautiful music? Before the Empire, before the endless wars, the Emperor's scales flickered through a rainbow of colors. Confusion, anger, sadness, and something else. Hope, maybe.
Okay.
16 of your colony worlds have requested to join the Free Worlds Alliance, Chen added.
Okay.
We haven't responded yet. We wanted to talk to you first. My own colonies. The Emperor's voice was barely a whisper. They're tired of empire, Chen said gently. They want to create, not conquer. They want to trade, not take. Your species isn't evil. You just got stuck in a pattern and no one was strong enough to break you out of it. Until now. Dr. Kovac appeared on the screen from her lunar laboratory. Behind her, the ZEUS reactor hummed with power that could reshape reality itself. We've made a decision, Kovac announced. We're going to share one aspect of ZEUS technology with everyone. The chamber erupted in shocked voices. Even Chen looked surprised. Kovac raised her hand for silence. Not weapons, not reality manipulation, but the energy source. We've developed a version of the ZEUS reactor that anyone can operate. It produces unlimited clean energy from quantum foam. No fuel needed. No waste produced. Endless power for every world, she gestured, and the plans appeared on every delegate's personal screen. These are the complete blueprints, free to everyone. Council members, free worlds, even species we haven't met yet. This is humanity's gift to the galaxy. The Synthari delegate's energy form pulsed rapidly. This would end all resource wars. No one would fight over helium-3 or fusion fuel or energy crystals. That's the idea, Kovac said. Wars happen when species compete for limited resources. But what if resources weren't limited? What if everyone had all the energy they needed? The Emperor stared at the plans. With unlimited energy, his empire's economy would transform. They wouldn't need to take from others. They could create everything they needed. Why? He asked. Why would you share this? Because that's what humans do, Chen said. We're explorers, not conquerors. We're builders, not destroyers. We went to space not to rule it, but to find friends among the stars. It took us 50 years to realize most of you weren't interested in friendship. You were interested in dominance. She paused, looking around the chamber at hundreds of alien faces. But children grow up. Empires fall. New ages begin. The galaxy is entering a new era. Not the human era. Not the free world's era. The era of choice. Every species gets to choose their own path. Admiral Thompson, who had commanded Earth's fleet during the invasion, appeared on screen from his new position as head of the Free World's Defense Force. His weathered face showed a mixture of pride and caution. To be clear, Thompson said, we'll still defend ourselves and our allies. The full ZEUS arsenal remains under human control, but we hope we'll never need to use it again. The energy technology we're sharing should eliminate most reasons for conflict. And if someone still chooses war, the Vorthan delegate asked. Thompson's expression hardened. Then they'll face the same fate as the invasion fleet. But worse, We've had a year to improve ZEUS. We can now create black holes the size of star systems. We can freeze entire sectors of space in temporal loops. We can edit species out of reality so thoroughly that no one will remember they ever existed. He let that sink in before continuing. But we don't want to do any of that. We want to explore the universe. We want to meet new species. We want to learn and grow and become better than we are. That's what humanity offers. Not conquest, not control, partnership. The chamber fell silent. Then slowly the Karathi Emperor stood. His scales had settled into a deep blue-green, a color that hadn't been seen in generations. It was the color of peace. The Karathi Empire formally requests. He paused, struggling with words that went against 3,000 years of tradition. The Karathi Republic formally requests membership in the Free Worlds Alliance. If the chamber had been shocked before, now it was stunned into absolute silence. The greatest empire in galactic history was choosing to abandon imperialism. There are conditions, Chen said. Release all conquered species who want independence. Return all stolen resources. Abandon all military occupations. Can you do that? The Emperor, the former Emperor now, nodded slowly. It will take time. There will be resistance from some of our military, but yes, the age of the Karathi Empire is over. Martinez smiled. Then welcome to the Free Worlds Alliance. Welcome to the future. Over the following days, the galaxy transformed more radically than it had in millennia. The Fourth and Crystal Collective, seeing the writing on the wall, dissolved their own empire and joined the Alliance.